Namaskar. My dear Rajesh ji and the team, Thinkers Forum, friends here. It's really a matter of honor and privilege to be invited here to speak on my mentor, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, with whom I had a very long and a close association. Jai Bharat Jananiye Tanujate, Jai He Karnatak Mate. I begin my speech with these lines. These lines are very inspiring lines and the perfect lines to be the state anthem of any state. Because here, the daughter of Bharat Mata is Karnataka Mata. So there is a Karnataka in every Indian's home, and there is India in every Kannadiga's home. What else you need? What else you dream for? Kuvempu deserves the salute of every Indian, because again and again when I read this Karnataka anthem, I feel a reflection of Janaganamana, of Vande Mataram, and as if I am reading a lyric in pure Sanskrit, because Kannadiga is so full of Sanskrit words that you need not consult any dictionary to understand what is written in a Kannada poem or a prose. So thank you, friends, for inviting me. I had a very long means I was editor of Panchajanya, and in those times Panchajanya was celebrating its 50th anniversary, the golden jubilee of Panchajanya. And Atalji, being the Prime Minister of India at that time, we requested him to head the Golden Jubilee Celebration Committee as the chairman, and he agreed to it. So almost every letter that we sent in India and abroad for friends who were connected with our ideology and with our work, with Panchajanya's circulation, those letters were sent under the signatures of Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. He was the first editor of Panchajanya. The first edition was published in Makar Sankranti 1948. And the headline of that was, Kashmir Hamara Hai, Hamara Hi Rahega. The very first line, the very first news on the front page was about Kashmir, and that was written by Pandit Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Atalji was very affectionate, and he never gave any quarter to any kind of a doubt, because he would clear it. I remember that he was the first reader of Panchajanya in those times as Prime Minister. Often he would give a call to me from his office, and I was sitting in Jhandewala, commenting on our issues. We had published an issue that was titled Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. That was against the caste-based discriminations being practiced by Hindus in various areas of the country, and how the Matadhish people, the sadhus, sannyasis, and Shankaracharyas were coming together to eradicate this ill practice. So we had titled the special issue as Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre, and on the front page was a picture of Puri Shankaracharya, Ashokji Singhal from Vishwa Hindu Parishad, and other senior sadhus from various sampradayas having food in the house of head Chandal of Kashi. Now, Chandal is a word perhaps you understand, the person who takes care of Shamshan Ghat, who is the like a manager or the chief of a cremation ground for the Hindus. He is known as a Chandal. If you can delve deep into history, the same Chandala appeared before Adi Shankara also once. And Adi Shankara touched the feet of the Chandala, seeing Shankara, Shiva Shankara in him. So, seeing that picture on the Panchajanya's front page, Atalji was very happy. And I remember the secretary said, आप तरुण विजय बोल रहे हैं? मैंने कहा जी, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी आपसे बात करेंगे. Now you can feel the goosebumps, the thrill and the excitement of a small editor of a Panchajanya weekly getting a call from the Prime Minister. And Atalji was on the line and he said, he would call me Vijay ji always. Vijay ji, बहुत अच्छा किया आपने. ये बात जोर से बोलनी चाहिए थी. ये जो जाति भेद का कलंक है, ये हमारे समाज से मिटना ही चाहिए. You did well. Because the casteism is eating away the vitals of our society. And this must go. This must be eradicated. And the message given by Vishwa Hindu Parishad, Ashok Singhal ji, Shankaracharya ji, entering the house of a Chandala and having food with him, sharing food with him, was something unimaginable for the so-called high caste and the staunch Hindus. So that was the relation between us. And I know that several times he would also get a bit angry. He would get angry. He would also reprimand and say, no, this should not have been done. I give you one example. The Swadeshi movement was at its zenith, at its climax. And we were in the forefront of it, like we were privileged to give, we were the thought leaders to the Ram Janmabhoomi. Panchajanya was giving the Vaicharik Netratva, the thought leadership to the entire Ram Janmabhoomi movement. So was the Swadeshi movement. And we published a picture of Bharat Mata's Chiraharan, that how the foreign companies, MNCs, they are taking away the money from India, and the entrepreneurship is under pressure from the foreign companies, and money from the Indian people is going abroad. And that's how we try to depict the pain of those Swadeshi-minded people. That was a very strong depiction of the MNC's assault on our Swadeshi entrepreneurship and industriousness. Call came from the Prime Minister's office. Atalji was not his usual self. And the first line was, not even Vijay ji. ये आप क्या छाप रहे हैं? भारत माता का चीरहरण होगा और हम जिंदा रहेंगे. You publish such pictures. It can happen only on our dead bodies. हमारी लाश होगी तब इस प्रकार का प्रकरण हो सकता है. हमारे जिंदा रहते क्या हम स्वदेशी का अंत होने देंगे? यह अच्छा नहीं हुआ. I was really shivering with fear, because I understood that going to this extent, to this extreme, was a bit crossing the limits. That was Atalji. Like a guardian, like a parent who would not say, get out of my home because you have done something wrong. He would try to mend the ways of his son, of his children. That affectionate Atalji, his reflection was on politics, on internal matters, on defense, on our culture, and on every aspect of our life with the same affection and with the same, like a patron saint. That's why I thought that I must give you these two anecdotes in the beginning. He endured pain also. He was never afraid of difficult times. He was never afraid of any suffering. In his last days, when he was bedridden and he was in coma. Just before that, I was a frequent visitor to his home, and we would have food. He liked khichdi with ghee, and he liked sweets also. But when he was unable to speak properly, and he was too ill, so I said, Atalji, this is something I can't see. It pains me very much. It hurts me very much. It hurts all your followers very much. They love you. I don't know what to say. So Atalji just put his hand on my palm and said, देह धरन को दंड है, सब काहू को होए. I hope you will be able to get the meaning of this Hindi line. देह धरन को दंड है, सब काहू को होए, ज्ञानी भुगते ज्ञान से, मूरख भुगते रोए. One who has attained the body and in the human form, then these are the sufferings that one has to pass through in a necessary way. यह तो यदि शरीर धारण किया है तो उसका दंड होता है. The one who is wise, he passes these sufferings with some patience, without complaining. But the fool, he weeps and he complains, and then he kept silence. This is how he took life. So this was his philosophy towards life. That endurance, that strength, that inner power was reflected in his all decisions. There was a time when those who followed the philosophy of Hindutva, of Sanatan Dharma, of Bharatiya Sabhyata and culture in the public life, they were the most untouchables, ideologically untouchables in public life. They were not given membership of institutions, not to say any grants, not to say of any scholarships. And we have passed through those times. We were denied even the press accreditation by the Press Information Bureau, PIB, although the correspondent of People's Democracy, CPM's paper, they got the accreditation. And that was a time when in 78, 79, the question of double membership, Dohri Sadasyata of Janata Party and RSS was risen. You cannot be a follower of RSS if you have to be in the Janata Party. That was a issue raised by so-called socialists, so-called left liberals, led by Madhu Limaye, Madhu Dandavate, and those people. So those were the times when the question of our own existence and raison d'etre to be in the public life arose. Those were the times when there was a debate what it means to be a secular, what it means to be a member of a public political party. You can be a member of a Muslim League that divided India. You can be a member of Jamaat-e-Islami, but if you believe in the tenets of a cultural organization like RSS, then you are publicly humiliated. Publicly you are questioned that how can you be associated with RSS and you have to denounce your association with the RSS, and then only you will be allowed to be a part of Janata Party. This is 2025, when the people have given a mandate, massive mandate in 2014, and changed the whole atmosphere in favor of Hindutva people. But it is very difficult for us to explain how we felt when publicly we were questioned that you are not working for the country and your philosophy is not in favor of the nation. And being a Hindu was a matter of embarrassment in any public forum. That was a time when Atalji, Advaniji, they all sat together and said no to this kind of a ideological apartheid, ideological discrimination. If one kind of apartheid is bad, then the other kind of apartheid can never be justified on any basis, on any pretext. And hence, the Bharatiya Janata Party was born in 1980, defying the fake and pseudo-secularism, disapproving of the double standards of the so-called secularists, saying, rejecting the kind of a double standards and the hypocrisy of the so-called left liberals, who are the most conservative and the most hateful people India has ever seen after 1947. And the birth of Bharatiya Janata Party shows in this kind of a rejection, and that's how the lotus began blooming under the presidentship of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. That was the time. Once we asked Atalji that, Atalji, if one has to give your parichay, how would you like to describe your life? How would you describe that the coming generations should know how this man lived and worked for the country? So, in his usual style, he would give a few seconds of pause and then say, Hindu tanmana Hindu Jeevan, rag rag Hindu mera parichay. That was Atal Bihari Vajpayee's parichay. Hindu tanmana Hindu Jeevan, rag rag Hindu mera parichay. Being a Hindu is a matter of great privilege, great honor. Being a Hindu and being born in Bharatvarsh is a matter of great honor and bliss and blessing of the gods. You cannot be compared with any other person in any other part of the globe if you are a Hindu and you are born in Bharatvarsha, because that makes you the most free person on this earth. You are a free man. You endure and you experience the greatest freedom a human being can experience in his lifetime. There is no other person, no other faith, no other place on this earth where the citizen feels so much of independence and freedom to express his views. You can be a person who believes, who is a believer in a million gods. And you can be a person who does not believe in any god. And you can be an atheist. You can believe in some human being and treat him as a god. Or you can say that I am the God. See the God in me. You can declare that you yourself is a God. You can create a new sampradaya. You can create a new tirthasthana. You can create a new nomenclature for your own new faith. You can initiate a new pathway and say that this is the pathway that leads to the God. But at the end of the day, a person who believes in Hindu Dharma, a person who believes in Bharat Mata, a person who is born and brought up in the free atmosphere of Bharatvarsha, he would say, Akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskaram keshavam pratigacchati. Wherever you go, whatever you believe in, whatever you say, I have no problem. I will appreciate your right to reject my view and say that your view is the best way. I would say that's how Bharatvarsha has survived. That is the virtue. That is the bliss of being a Hindu and being born in Bharatvarsh, and that was symbolized in the life and times of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Nowhere on this earth, you will find this kind of a freedom that we have here in Bharatvarsh, being a Hindu. And that's how he worked and wrote when he said, Hindu tanamana Hindu jivan, rag rag Hindu mera parichay. It didn't mean that he had any kind of a reservation or a hate for others. Never. Only being a Hindu can make you appreciate the other viewpoint. Only being a Hindu. If you're not a Hindu, then you cannot appreciate the other viewpoint with the same kind of a commitment. That's what Atal Bihari Vajpayee was. We are celebrating the centenary year of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh this year. And this is no coincidence that the Swayamsevak's birth centenary is also being celebrated the same year. We asked Atalji that how you look at your past as a Swayamsevak. You are a Swayamsevak, you are a Pracharak, that how this dhara will do good to the country. So his famous poem, I wish Sudarshanji was around. He would have, cited all of Atal Bihari Vajpayee's poem by heart. So Atalji's answer was, Keshav ke ajivan tap ki, yeh pavitratam dhara, साठ सहस ही नहीं तरेगा इससे भारत सारा. Keshav, Dr. Keshav Rao Baliram Hedgewar. And his poem is very famous. He said that the RSS is going to change the agenda and make this country a superpower for the good of the universe, for the good of the every people, for the good of the nature of this world. At the end of the day, this will be the instrument, the biggest instrument that will elevate the country's stature in the world. And that's how we see is coming true. That was Atal Bihari Vajpayee's commitment and his faith. But he visited all the faith centers. He had a same respect for all the faiths as a good Hindu. And I have a lot of anecdotes about him, but I will limit myself to some of his early days. He participated in the Quit India movement in 42. He got arrested. He was protesting against the British, and he became the General Secretary of Arya Kumar Sabha in 1944 and worked as a pracharak for the RSS since 1947. His mentor was Bhavrao Devras ji, and he worked with Pandit Deendayal Upadhyay ji. He would say many things about Pandit ji, that when there were some shortage of workers in Rashtra Dharma in Lucknow, how Pandit Deendayal Upadhyay ji himself composed Panchajanya and the pages of Rashtra Dharma, and when there were another shortage, he would have the bundles of Panchajanya tied at the carrier of the cycle and take them to the Charbagh railway station in Lucknow for dispatch. This is how the early days were. The early days were when there were no cars and hardly any vehicles in the Janasangha offices, and the offices were very small, and the pracharaks were working. Often they would go in the homes of our workers for eating food, and very good camaraderie, the friendship between Atalji and Advaniji, going together to see movies going together for working, going together for campaigning also. And they are something to be believed in today's world when the resources are so much that one is unable to even imagine the hardships, the difficult times the Jansangh people and those who were the early days, they had to pass through. He worked with Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee also, and he was going with him to Srinagar, but Shyama Prasad Mukherjee told him that, Atalji, you had to go back and take care of the political work. While I am going to Srinagar, I will come back soon. But those were the days of great animosity, the kind of animosity and poisonous adversarial attitude was shown by Pandit Nehru and Sheikh Abdullah against Jansangh people. Jansangh was a very small party, but just because Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was a leader of opposition and he was against his policies, against this constitutional provision of 370, against the permit system, that was something like as if you are going in a foreign country for every Indian. So there was a conspiracy to murder Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. And he died, and Atalji had to take the reins of the Jansangh at that time. So those were the times when the political apartheid, intolerance, and hatred, ideological hatred for a different viewpoint took lives of people. We can see that how the CPM goons, supported by Congress, they killed the RSS and Jana Sangha workers in Kerala, in Andhra. And this is how the ideological tree of Jana Sangh and Bharatiya Janata Party has been nourished and nurtured by the sacrifices of the ideologically inspired youngsters. Atalji was their inspiration because his statesman-like personality, it was like a magnet for everyone. He said that we might be adversaries ideologically, but matabhed should not be transformed into manabhed. The difference in ideology should not become a kind of animosity against each other. We work together for the country, we work together for the national good. During emergency, he was in Bangalore. He was kept in Bangalore jail. And then he wrote one of the best poems, Kaidi Kaviraye Ki Kundaliyan. The poems of a intern, the Kaidi Kaviraye. And he said that this is like Krishna Kara. Krishna was also kept in the jail by Kansa. So this, if the Kansa's period had ended, this Indira Gandhi's emergency will also end. He always supported everyone who worked for the country without any hatred. He had friends across the party lines. His famous collection of poetry, Meri 51 Kavitaएं, was released by none other but Narasimha Rao ji, who was the Congress Prime Minister at that time. So this was something unimaginable for those who looked at treasury benches and opposition like they are enemies to each other. No, if we are working for the nation, if we are working for Bharat Mata, then we are all children of Bharat Mata. We might be having ideological differences, but the way this opposition is working here in the country, that the hatred for everything that the government does, even if they do anything for the country's good, that has to be opposed, and the enemies are to be being supported. There are opposition leaders who are speaking against the armed forces. There are opposition leaders who are speaking in contemptuous manner against Indian Air Force. There are opposition leaders who said that Indian Air Force was defeated by the Pakistanis. I mean, they are worse than the enemies across the border. But Atalji was against this kind of a poisonous animosity. That's the reason when the issue of Kashmir was raised in Geneva's World Courts, the then Congress government, Narasimha Rao ji, he sent Atal Bihari Vajpayee to represent the case of India in the World Forum. And he went there. So that was a kind of statesmanship and a polity that Atalji had envisaged. And he was very strong for India's defense. We won Kargil. We refused to come under pressure from the Clinton administration. And we did Pokhran too also, in such a way that not even CIA, KGB got any inkling of it. That was a great virtue of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Very strong for India's defense. Very strong for India's powerful future. Very strong to create new future for the coming generation. Focused on technological advancement. Focused on highway building. The golden quadrangle that connected east and west and north and south was his own vision and creation. We started a new idea with the help of Professor F.C. Kohli, who was then Vice Chairman of TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. F.C. Kohli is also known as the father of Indian IT. We were a few friends. I was a pracharak in Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram, and we consulted with Ashok Jhunjhunwala of IIT Madras and some other people, and we started a school, technological school for the children of Himalayan tribal area. And F.C. Kohli said that, Tarun, this would be a great idea, and these are the children who remain isolated in the border areas of our Himalayan region, like Nagaland, Mizoram, Arunachal, Manipur, Ladakh. We must provide best of the technological opportunities for them, and let us do this thing. So we all came together. We went to Atalji and we said that, sir, this is our idea. And it's a very small school. Only 25 children are there, but it will grow more. Its growth is guaranteed. But we would like very much that if you kindly inaugurate it. So he kept silence and said that I will think about it. Next day, his principal secretary, he called me. He said that, Tarunji, you met the Prime Minister of India. It's another matter that he has an affection for you, and but pardon me, don't take liberty. A Prime Minister is invited to inaugurate some university, some big institution, not a school of 25 children. I said that, I'm sorry, sir, but we thought that it will be good that Atalji has a vision for a futuristic, technologically advanced India, a powerful India, and those days the communication systems are being given new impetus, big budgets. So that's how we thought, and we have people like F.C. Kohli, I mean a towering figure. So I'm sorry if you feel that we are taking liberty of our closeness with Atalji. So we had, after 2-3 days, I had an occasion to have a dinner with him, and I sheepishly said, Atalji, aap kshama karenge, but this is how we felt. So Atalji smiled and said nothing. Next day, the Prime Minister office gave a confirmation of Atal Bihari Vajpayee's coming to Dehradun for the inauguration that is. It gives goosebumps. It cannot happen anywhere. And he came. And the first line of his speech was, and he was accompanied with N.D. Tiwari, the Congress Chief Minister, Gegang Gapang, the Congress Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh. And the first line was, विद्यालय छोटा है लेकिन विचार बड़ा है, मैं इसलिए आया. The school is small, but the idea is big. This is how he supported big ideas. This is how he supported big ideas. We were very fortunate that most of our programs were held in his Panchavati, his house. And of that time it was known as 7 RCR. Now it is known as 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. So, I'm sorry, I'm not here to give you the GDP growth. I had written all that. Economically, how he transformed India from a closed economy to a burgeoning powerhouse, building on 1991 reforms. His government deregulated sectors, encouraged foreign investment, and privatized inefficient public enterprise. The GDP growth soared to 8.2% in 2003-04, with a peak of 10% in one quarter. That was Vajpayee. But these are just numbers. I'm giving you some personal glimpses of his personality. I wrote a book on Kailash Mansarovar way back when he was in opposition. And that was a coffee table book which was inspired and supported by Raju Bhaiya of the RSS. So I took that book to Atalji and requested him that would you please release the book in the Parliament House. He saw the book and he liked the book very much because this was the very first book on a coffee table book on Kailash Mansarovar Yatra in early 90s. And it was very beautifully produced. He kept the book on his side and said, Vijay ji, हम तो आपके हैं ही. I can do the book release any day, no problem. But try to bring closer those who share our worldview but might be in some other organization. Bring them closer. So I said that, Atalji, मैं समझा नहीं what is your message. He said कि I will come in your program, but get the book released by Dr. Karan Singh. At that time, Dr. Karan Singh was perhaps minister in the Congress government. And he was a towering Congress leader. That time, people were even thinking that perhaps Congress will project him as the next president. तो मैंने कहा अटल जी वो कांग्रेस में है और मैं आरएसएस का, मैं पांचजन्य का मैं काम कर रहा हूं यहाँ पे. हाँ, मैं उनसे बात करूंगा. हाँ, he will not even take my call. उन्होंने कहा अच्छा, I will speak to him. Sir, can you believe that the release function of Kailash Mansarovar book written by a RSS person who had no connection with BJP, who is the editor of Panchajanya Weekly, was done in the Parliament House with Atalji present, Acharya Vishnukant Shastri holding the mic and he was anchoring the program, right? Raju Bhaiya on the dais with Dr. Karan Singh sitting on the dais releasing the book with Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Against hatred, against any kind of apartheid, bringing people together for the service of the nation, bringing people together to serve the cause of our dharma, unhesitatingly, and without any kind of a doubt, standing firm for Hindu Dharma, for Hindu civilization, for Hindutva, working for the advancement of science and technology, empowering the new generation to take up the leadership of India to make it a Param Vaibhav Sampanna Bharatvarsh. That was Atal Bihari Vajpayee. That was Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who always thought about a strong India, a happy India, a prosperous India, an India for the Indians, by the Indians, of the Indians, and no foreign element, no poisonous snakes, no those kind of a traitors must be allowed any kind of a quarter or protection against all sort of infiltration, against all sort of this treason, against all sort of this communist hatred and ideology, against all sort of Naxalism and Maoism, against all sort of communist terrorism. He liked it, the word. I said that how this Minister of Home Affairs, they have a cell for left extremism. What does it mean? It looks like a very enigmatic thing, like left extremism, some kind of a romanticism. This is a pure and simple communist terrorism. And my book is there on communist Atankvad. So this is something that we have to think today in the light of Atalji's works, his message, and his writings. Atal Bihari Vajpayee means a pure-hearted soul, like a drop of dew on the lotus petal at the stroke of first ray of sun in the morning. He's as pure, as transparent, as belonging to everyone. Like the water of Ganga does not ask anyone, what's your religion, what's your caste, what's your language, what's your script. The Ganga water, the Kaveri water, the Krishna water is available to everyone. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was that kind of a person who belonged to everyone, a real Ajat Shatru. He did a great things on foreign policy. I accompanied him almost on most of his foreign tours. When we had signed that Tibet agreement on Tibet Autonomous Region, and in return China had recognized Sikkim. At that time I was with him and I asked a very tough question to him in Beijing press conference. He didn't like it, but he never shut his door on us. He never shut his door on us. We had been opposing Congress tooth and nail because we had full commitment that this kind of ideology and this kind of a politics of hate is not good for the country's future. But his instructions were never go for any personal attack. Attack the policies, attack the programs, attack their ill motives, but never attack personalities. So he was like we are naming a lot of things after him, tunnels, roads, schools, universities, cities. But the best homage to Atal Bihari Vajpayee would be to end the atmosphere of hatred and animosity that we see against ideological people. So much of precipitated hatred that we see against the Hindutva, against Hindus. The incident in Bangladesh of Dipu Chandra Sen, that must wake us all, wake up us all. It's an alarming bell. Dipu's case must be taken up by every person who believes in sanity, in equality, in humanity, and in democracy. And gradually, we are surrounded by Islamic extremist societies and countries. and both the countries on our left and right, they have left no quarter to express their animosity against us, conspiratorial neighbors. So this is a time when everyone in the country must stand up, full of patriotism, full of nationalism, work as a citizen soldier, keeping the ideals of Atal Bihari Vajpayee in his and her heart, and working to serve Mother India with full might. There is no denial of the fact that a new India is rising. A new Bharatvarsh is rising on the horizon of this world. No power in this world can stop India's march towards glory, power, strength for the universal good. No power can stop us. And that's the reason the enemies are more baffled, and this might be the last battle of the enemies against us. A new India's rise is in the interest of the whole world. India's rise means every Indian act as a living united nation that works to protect the different voices. This is the only place that can help. Otherwise, the dark forces, the evil forces are coming to surround us, and that's why the ideals and the message of Atal Bihari Vajpayee must be taken to every home, must be a part of every school curriculum to make a stronger, happier, prosperous, powerful India. A powerful India that defends its borders, that defends those who have faith in Bharat Mata, and that defeats the enemies of Bharat Mata, and that defeats the enemies of the idea of India. That is Atal Bihari Vajpayee in sum. With these words, I say again thank you to you for having shown so much of patience to listen to me. Vande Mataram.